Oh yeah, they're back. Hey there, welcome back. It's D2 with Big Peach Running Company, and today I'm reviewing the Hoka Clifton 1. And no, it is not 2014, the year is 2018. So why am I reviewing the original Hoka Clifton 1 that was released in July of 2014? Because Hoka re-released the original Hoka Clifton 1. It is right here. It is now available, both men and women. This is the women's color that is available. This is the men's color that's available. This has probably been the best kept secret that Hoka has kept, or for any matter, any manufacturers ever kept, because there is no mention of this anywhere through the internet. And this gets released today, November 18th. It goes on sale for the original price of $130. We have limited pairs available here online at bigpeachrunningco.com. The link will be provided down in the information. So if you want a pair, and if you're one of those fans that originally fell in love with a Clifton, this is your opportunity. Don't have any details from Hoka whether it will continue to be available. As someone who has loved this shoe, as many others have, this is the opportunity to grab your pair before it's completely gone. So, does it feel the same? Is it the exact same shoe? Well, let's take it out. Let's find out. Does it feel like the original Hoka Clifton 1? So yeah, it's everything I remember. It's soft, it's cushion, it's plush, it's whatever adjective you feel that's just makes it feel so good while you're running, and just makes it feel so comfortable, and it's everything I remember about it being. Now that being said, you know, there were and are still some things that maybe weren't so great about it, but we're willing to look past it because we loved the majority of this shoe. So let's start with some things that you may not like, that I had maybe some small issues with. So first of all, some people didn't like the tongue. They felt like it was a little bit too thin. It does have that more of like a track spike, racing spike type of thin type of tongue. Also, the tongue was a little short. It always felt like maybe it was slipping into the shoe. And since then they have, you know, lengthened a little bit. So that would have been nice in the initial, you know, shoe design. And when they first released it, if that was part of it. And that's one of the things that I remember looking at, you know, reviews, that was a concern for a lot of people. So the original, still the original. They did not change that. It remains the same. They did not fix that in the original. The other thing was a bit in the midfoot. It does fit a little kind of, maybe a little sloppy. You know, it's a little loose on the midfoot, especially if you have kind of more of a narrow type foot through here. And then the heel collar also feels a little bit loose. That all still remains unchanged from the original. But that being said, those are all minor things. So if you got the right sizing, those you can minimize that by maybe going down a size if you can. I'm still a size 10. I'll continue to be in a size 10, so those issues still continue. I would not go, me personally, wouldn't go down to a 9.5, only because I want that extra room in the toe box for those longer runs, longer distances, especially running here in Atlanta. You want that extra room so you don't get the black toenails. So another thing that to consider is, although a benefit, is the upper. The really lightweight upper makes the shoe feel almost like you're not even wearing a shoe. It makes it feel, like I said, it removes a lot of weight, almost 2 ounces from version 5. The drawback to that is that it's so thin that under the right conditions, and if you tend to, in my instance, in this area here where my feet tend to splay out a little bit, my toes would kind of poke through here a little bit, stretching that material out, thinning it over time, and so doing, eventually wearing a hole through here. So some people had an issue with that. I know my first pair, I replaced it probably a little over 300 miles because I did have a hole in it. In my second pair, I was able to take it beyond 400 miles and did not experience the hole through there because I ended up getting this. This is the Engo Blister Pads, and what this is these little kind of stickers, very slick oval stickers that are primarily used to cover areas where there might be seams that may cause any discomfort and cause blisters. But what it also does, and in my case, applying this to the inside of the shoe, created a more durable and stronger area so that when my toes did press against here, it did not weaken the material. It created a nice, stronger, thicker material, and I didn't feel any discomfort. The shoes were obviously lasted a bit longer, so I would recommend that as a tip. Those go for about $13. If you've had that in the past, definitely recommend that. If you have issues with a shoe that causes blisters, I would recommend that, putting that inside your shoes. What I will also say is put it inside your shoe when it's fresh, before you sweat in it, before it gets all dirty and dingy, because that'll make sure that the material adheres to it better. I believe I added it to my first pair of shoes, halfway through, and while it helped a little bit, every time I stuck my foot in, it always seemed like it peeled the sticker back a little bit because it did not adhere to it on the edge. In the second pair, I had no issues. I could slide my foot in because I put it in on a fresh pair of shoes. It adhered perfectly. There was no issue with my sock grabbing it and pulling it away from the inside of the upper. So, of course, how does this compare to the current version, the Clifton 5? So this is the Clifton 5, and as you can see, this is a different shoe compared to version 1. A lot of it's changed. They don't even really look similar. So obviously they've added RMAT midsole to this to make it a little bit firmer, a little bit more responsive. It still feels soft, but it's not as plush. So it's a good, comfortable shoe for an everyday trainer. This is what I currently run in and train in. And the previous version was a Clifton 3 that I ran in, and I put 520 miles, which just goes to show you it's a really durable shoe. Obviously they have updated the upper since the original one. They've improved the fit for sure because it doesn't feel quite as sloppy, especially in the midfoot area through here. It's gotten a little bit narrow, it hugs the foot better. The heel collar has been improved so it doesn't open up as much. The heel notch through here also improves the fit, so it reduces any slipping through the heels. So big improvements. Unfortunately, it's added almost 2 ounces of weight. This is still my everyday trainer. I will continue to run in the Clifton 5, but this is going to be my race shoe. This is going to be the shoe that if I were doing a marathon or an Ironman or even a half marathon type of distance or half Ironman, this is the shoe that I would run in for those competitions or days that I'm trying to do tempo workouts or intervals, just to get that feel of the race day. This would be still my choice. The midsole obviously has changed, or the outsole has changed, not too much, not drastic, but the midsole did change to the RMAT material in the since then. I believe it started in version 4 and 5, so it has a little bit more responsive feel, but the outsole pattern still remains very similar. So you still have the exposed EVA foam through here, so this is always going to wear out a little bit quicker depending on where you strike. This will continue here as well in this area that's exposed, and then the more durable, colored area here, and in here the blue is a little bit more, provides a little bit more traction, provides a little bit more protection against the exposed midsole foam, so that it won't wear out as quickly. But I do feel that you'll get easily 400 or more miles in this shoe. This, I think that, as I did in version 3, you get up to 500 depending on various factors, depending on the conditions that you're running in, and the obviously maybe size, weight will make a difference in it as well, but I do think it'll continue to be durable. So there are limited pairs. We don't know when or we don't know if Hoka will re-release this again. This is a one-time only. They kept it very hush-hush. They told us not to make any mention of it, not to mention the shoe, not to show the shoe in any part until the release date of October 18th. We do have limited pairs. They are available online, so we'll have the link below. So if you were a fan, or even if you're curious of what you missed out, if you didn't try the original, this is your opportunity to get it. It is available, like I said, online, limited quantities. And with that, may your best miles be those covered on foot. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what we're if you like the content, if you have comments, suggestions, if you hate the Clifton 1 or love the Clifton 5, or if you have any thoughts or info, and if you agree with me, disagree, please leave your comments below. Always happy to listen to what you have to say. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And with that, we're out.